Will they found a new way to kill us? That's what we're going to be talking about. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. How are you all today? I hope you're well. We're going to get to that in just a second, but before we do, I have a surprise for Stone Modders. Been waiting on this, and I think you all are going to be very happy. My coffee tastes more delicious this morning than usual. I wonder why. Yep, the first Stonemont mug that I have given the okay to go to market, and it is beautiful. The first one came off the printing last night. I gave the okay. It is now up on the website for sale for all of you, and I'll show you a little bit if I'm not. I know there's a glare on there. I'll kind of tell you what it is. So you see Stonemont up there, and then where life is good. That's kind of our catchphrase at Stonemont, because that's what Stonemont is. It's for those of you who don't know what Stonemont is. Shall I break in? Okay. For those who don't know what it is, Stonemont is my series of books, the books that I wrote. It's currently 6 novels now. I'm working on the 7th one. It's The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, The Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune. It's the complete guide on how to prepare for, survive, and rebuild after a complete collapse. It's been called an unbelievably positive story about an unbelievably negative situation, and I would agree with that. People have been learning around the world since 2017 when the first book came out. If you're not, Stonemodders are those who have read the books. Many people have said they have read through the entire series 5 times and are now following the Audible over on the Patreon. I'll talk about that in a second. But and some people have just started the series and are loving it. And so all of those are considered Stonemodders. So that's what we're talking about, Stonemont here, okay? So where life is good. Now on the pine tree there, you can see the pine tree. That's kind of the symbol of Stonemont, and it's based on the pine tree flag. If you're familiar with that, I talk a great deal about that in my books. Bracketing that, we have the crossed axes and the crossed rifles. And above and below each one of those, it says Semper Paratus. That's how I sign all of my books, and that's kind of the motto of Stonemont. And what it means is always ready or always prepared. Okay, beneath the pine tree is an open book, which signifies the Bible. And what many people who have the t-shirt on this, we call this the BAR, Bible, Axe, and Rifle. Because those are the things really that built our country from the very first. When those first came over, they had their rifles, they had their axes, and they had the Bible on which our country was based. And it's what Stonemont was based on too. Below that, we have one of my favorite scriptures, Bible verses. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. And that's Psalm 127:1. Now, if you wondered how did he memorize that, or does he just know that? Well, no, I'd like to say that I do, and I kind of do. But I was reading from the other side. Yeah, surprise. I can't stand mugs or cups that just have something on one side, because if you are drinking it, you're either looking at it, in which case the people around you can't see. And these are the kinds of things that you kind of use to get conversations or show what you're interested in or what you're proud of or what you want to share with other people. So if you just have it on your side, you can't show other people. If you have it on their side, you can't enjoy looking at it when you take your sip. By the way, let me take one. Yes, it tastes much better out of this mug. So there you have, and on here, which in the middle, God, family, and friends. That's what I talk about so much, and that's what that's what everything is based on, should be. And I tell you, when you base it on that, your life's a lot better than when you don't. Most of you know that. So these are now available. They're on the website. The website is stonemont.us. That's where you can get all my books and all that, and the T-shirts and everything like that. Stonemont.us. The price, by the way, I should say, these are 15-ounce mugs. These are not the little cups that you get somewhere. These are big ones. You can see I have pretty good sized hands, and I can get all my fingers through there, and I like that, which is even better when it's cold and you want to keep your hands warm. See, you can keep it right like that. Am I much of a spokesmodel? I know I'm not. So there it is, and I've priced them so that the price that you pay, and you see on the website, handles all the shipping and handling and everything like that. Okay, you have the price you pay, that's all you pay, and these are pretty expensive to ship, but I kept it down as low as I could because I want everybody to have one or two, or I know people are going to be buying sets of them, and don't worry, we'll print as many as we need, and there will be others coming out, but this, I just love this one. I was so pleased how it came out. The very first Stonemont approved by Jim Wyatt and me mug. Okay, there you have it. All right, to the point of this. We know that they've been looking for a way to get to all of us, right, for a long time. Their little game that they went through a couple of years ago, trying to get everybody to do that thing, you know, and they were very successful at it. I don't remember what the percentage is of people who actually took that was, but through the government and through their lockdowns and through their deals with employers and everything like that, many people were forced to take that. I don't even know. I mean, the truth is out. The truth has been out for a long time. But I don't know what we can say and what we can't say on here yet. It changes all the time. And so, but you all know what I'm talking about, you know. So they got to a lot of people, and they forced a lot of people to take that in order to keep their jobs. And yes, I know, you know, each person is able to resist, and I always suggested that they did. Many of you know that Kelly and I both lost our jobs, very good jobs, very huge moolah jobs, because we refused to take it. And the reason that we were able to refuse that and lose those jobs was because we were prepared, because we do what I preach. You see, I do what I preach. Prepare. And so when they said, well, you know, you got to do it, or I'm afraid you're going to lose your job, I said, okay, fine. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it because, you know, 99% of the people took it. And, but we were able to, and I'll be honest, yeah, I mean, it was a big hit. Of course it was. Anytime you lose a lot, you're losing a lot, you know. But we had positioned ourselves. I had positioned myself. I had other income streams. Didn't need it. Doing better now than we were before then. But that's why. That's just one of those reasons why to prepare. So anyway, they got so many of the people with that, but they didn't get them all. And we know they want them all, right? Klaus Schwab and all his minions, and Fauci and Biden and all those. And yeah, I know Trump pushed it at the beginning. You know, I get it. This isn't a political thing, so let's don't have a political argument here about anything. But we knew this was coming. I knew it was coming. I think most of you did too. They have to find a way to get it into all of us. Here's the thing. This is from the National Pulse. When I put this video up on the Patreon page, I always put the link so that you can get the original article, so you can share with people if you want. If you're not with us on Patreon yet, I invite you to come over. You'll get so much more over there on Patreon, and I always put the link down below. From the National Pulse, it says, researchers create aerosolized COVID vaccine. Yale University researchers have created a new airborne method of delivery for mRNA vaccines, which they believe will radicalize the way people are vaccinated in the near future. Yes, I'm sure it will. Their findings are detailed in a report published in the journal Science Translational Medicine. In the new report, there is no intramuscular injection, said Professor Mark Saltzman. And then he gives a quote here. We just gave 2 doses, a prime and a boost, intranasally, and we got a highly protective immune response. Okay, what does that mean? That means they had a very high uptake of that mRNA into the system, into their body. But we also, and do your own research about what this mRNA stuff is and what it does. It changes you if you're not aware of that. But we also showed that generally you can deliver different kinds of mRNA. So it's not just good for a vaccine, but potentially also good for gene replacement therapy in diseases like cystic fibrosis and gene editing. We use a vaccine example to show that it works, but it opens the door to doing all these other kinds of interventions. Yeah, all these other kinds of interventions. You know, now they always wrap these things in something that people go, oh, that's good, like, well, to help cystic fibrosis, right? Who would not want to help that? That's a terrible disease. But, you know, it's like they wrap that's like coating a dog turd with chocolate. You know, it looks yummy, right? Yeah, I can go with it. I understand that. And then you take a bite, and it ain't that yummy. I assume. Gene editing. So how are they going to do this? So they have discovered they have successfully tested this. Now, you know, what it comes off is, oh, well, it's just going to be the aerosol that you get in your nose like they do the flu vaccine for kids and things like that. No. Aerosolized means they can put this into the atmosphere however they want to, whenever they want to, wherever they want to. Now, we know that we've been getting dumped on for years, right? With those little cross hatches up in the sky, that you know, a beautiful blue day, blue skies, and all of a sudden it looks like a checkerboard, right? And all of a sudden, in a few hours, it's hazy, and then it's cloudy, and the next day it rains, right? Interesting thing. I'm going to slip this in. I saw a lot of those for several years. I hardly saw any this year. Hardly any. I think 1 or 2 days I saw those this whole spring to summertime. And I'll tell you the difference in my garden. The last few years, it struggled. I got next to nothing out of it. My fruit trees didn't produce. Whatever. Fruits, vegetables, didn't matter. Berries did all right. Elderberries, every year, just pumping them out. This year, I hardly saw any of that. Like I said, 1 or 2 days. And my garden is exploding. The fruit trees are exploding. Now, a little bit that's going to have to do with the age of the tree. They wait and they produce at certain ages. But the vegetables is different. They are just exploding. Let me know if it's been the case where you are. I don't know. Now I will admit here, I'll throw this in before we get back to how they're poisoning us. I use my garden as kind of a test, my own test. I don't need the vegetables right now to supply our food needs. So every year I test. I plant things in different spots with different amounts of sun, in slightly different type of soil. I water differently to see what can pretty much, you know, how much do I have to care for certain things. There are some you have to care for a lot. There are others you don't have to. I love those ones you don't have to, right? Stick them in the ground and man, there they go. So I do use my garden as a continual kind of a test plot for when I really need it. So some of it might have to do with that, but I don't think most of it does. I think it has to do with the magic dust. So they want us all to have this in us, in there changing us, right? Well, they can't get everybody to report, you know, for the, but they can't keep people we can't stop breathing. And if they want it in us, that's the place to go. People talk about the water supply and all that. Well, a lot of us have ways that we get around that. We can't get around breathing, right? So how are they going to do it? Well, aerosolized simply means how about, every government building you walk in, every hospital you walk in, every large employer that has, gotten millions of dollars, off the books from the government to instill this program in their major buildings. And, along with that nice, warm or cooled air that comes out of those vents from the air handlers, we get our daily dose of mist. Aerosolized mRNA. We know they're putting it in our food. We talked about that the other day. When they put it in our air, how do we deal with that? Okay, well, we can't go around wearing gas masks all the time. I mean, first off, if you have gas masks, that's great. But those filters don't last forever. They have to be replaced, and those things are fairly expensive. I mean, given the cost of other things. How many air filters can you buy? And then, are you going to be going through life wearing a gas mask? I don't think most people are going to do that. And then the filters will run out, and then there you are. We're all going to have to give this some more thought. But it's definitely one of those situations to where I think that where you live is going to be very important. I've been seeing changes for the last few years. And I've talked before about where, I think the best place is to live. I've talked about where I live. I've talked about where I have property. I've talked about my alternate locations. And depending on what's going on in the world, I think that some places are better than others. But I think for this, it's going to be far better to be in a very low density, low population density area. Because, I can't say that they're not going to spray all the skies. Now, I was shocked several years ago. We'd see the crosshatches here at our house, and we'd head out to go to our place down in the Ozarks, and darn if they weren't down there too. So, they might cover everything, but depending on whether they do it that way or whether they do it through, like I say, hey, I bet that Kevin Altapeter will have something to say. If you don't know who he is, that means that you're not on Patreon with us. Kevin is one of our most extremely intelligent, one of our most common commenters over there, and he runs HVAC business. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kevin has to say on what might be a good, if he thinks there is a mitigating action that we could take in this place. But I would say that being in built-up areas are probably going to put you at a higher risk of this exposure than being in lower population density areas. A good reason to think about moving away from the built-up areas. And like I've said before, I mentioned this the other day, we are going to be probably making a move in the next few years. And people have said, Steve, why haven't you done it yet? Many, many, many reasons. Many reasons. Trust me, I've thought of. I think about this stuff a lot, and there are reasons that right now where we are, I think, and other people disagree, and that's fine. I think is the best for us now. But see, that's why it's always important to have. Well, what do we do next? That's what preparedness is all about. What next? And then what we do for that. Okay, so this is what's coming. Aerosolized pretty much anything. Right now, it's a matter, and we don't have to go into detail about the obvious effects of what happened over the last few years. Okay, we know what's happened, but they didn't kill enough people. Looks like they're getting ready to remedy that, right? Okay. I'll be interested to hear your ideas, and I will give another just another invitation to those of you who may not be with us yet on Patreon. You will get so much more over there, not just from me. I put extra stuff over there in addition to the videos, but our membership over there, we have such an intelligent and participating membership. Read all of the comments that they leave. They are some super sharp people. We have people over there that understand a lot of things that I don't. Okay, I'm a macro guy. I know, the old stuff. I'm not really a tech guy. We have people over there who are. We have people over there who know the pharmacological aspects of things. We have people that know the electromagnetic aspects of things. We have people who raise cattle who know what's happening with our food supply. And they contribute so much that if you're not with us, please do. The lower level will only cost you $1 a month. You're going to get so much information. And that's really why I'm here. I'm here to help people. I'm trying to help as many people I can keep up, give ideas. Here's what you might want to think about. Here's what to do. Here's how to get involved in serious and real preparedness. And they help over there. So I always put the link down below. And like I say, if you want to go to the next level and listen to me read, I'm in the process of doing the Audible for my first book, The Reversion. That's on the Stone Mountain level. Love to have you there too. But whatever way you do, you will be happy. I just got several messages saying, I just joined here. I wished I'd done it before. I can't, there is so much more here. Thank you for telling us, encouraging us, berating us, getting us to, driving. Go to Patreon. It's for you. Okay, it's for your benefit, and you're going to get the benefit. I think that's it, guys. They're coming at us in new ways all the time. And we have to keep up on things, and we have to think about them. And I'll be honest, I haven't thought of everything that we might be able to do with this. I'm looking forward to reading the comments on Patreon, because I know we have some people over there, smart folks, who are going to have some really good ideas and very good information on this. So do this. And the new mugs. Get you one, get you a couple, get you some, give to your friends. And I'll tell you, whatever you drink out of this, you'll agree with me. It tastes so much better. Available on the website, stonemont.us, just like my books and t-shirts and all that. Guys, remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Get out there. Do something to prepare. Think about this new information. And like I say, I'll put the link over on the Patreon. You can read the article. I think it has a link to the study and everything, and the report, everything. So do something. Prepare, because more's coming at us, and that means we have to be really ratcheting up our preparedness. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.